Hello, everybody. It's Mrs. Pound. We are studying Chapter 23, the Nervous System, from BJU Biology's 4th edition. And today is the last video for this chapter, so you should begin studying for your test. We've been taking a look at Section 23B on the sensory organs. Our objectives for this video are to identify the anatomical structures of the eye, summarize the functions of the structures involved in vision, and explain the difference between rods and cones. So subsection 23.5, the eye and sight. So let's begin with the eye. First part I want to talk about of the eye is the sclera, and this is the white of the eye, so the white part of your eye. The cornea allows light to enter the eyeball, so it's the covering that's over the eye here. That is the cornea. The iris is the colored part of the eye, and so that's what gives you brown eyes or blue eyes or green eyes or hazel. The pupil is a circular opening in the iris, and it dilates. It opens to allow more light when it's darker, and it closes when there's a lot of light to let less in. The retina is inside of your eye, on the back of your eye, and it contains light-sensitive neurons. There's a lens in your eye just behind the iris, and it focuses images on the retina. So the retina is back here, and the lens, as you can see, it changes shape to focus on the retina, depending on whether something's far away or close. Visual accommodation is the ability of the eye to focus on near and far objects, so that's what the lens is doing. There is a substance called the aqueous humor. This is fluid that fills the space between the cornea and the lens. And that is right here. And we're going to talk about glaucoma later when you have too much of that. There's the vitreous humor. It's a jelly-like substance that provides support for the eye. So it's back here. It fills in the rest of the eye back here. And the aqueous humor we can see is up here, and the vitreous humor back here. So an eyeball, if you were to squeeze it, the liquid that comes out for the most part is the vitreous humor. There are lacrimal glands, and these produce tears. And you see this little dot here. Maybe you've noticed it on your own eyelid. That is where your tears come from. Now, let's talk about vision. In your retina, there are photoreceptors called rods that are responsible for night vision and discerning movement. So rods I usually think of as kind of more black and white. Cones are photoreceptors that detect color, and they're concentrated in the fovea of the retina. So cones, color, the C's go together. Cones and color. Now, some eye disorders. The first is astigmatism, and this is an unevenly curved cornea or lens. We can see nice rounded cornea up here, a pointed cornea down here. So this individual has astigmatism because it's not as curved. Glaucoma, maybe you've heard of people having this. This is when the eyeball has too much aqueous humor, causing pressure. So here is the pupil and the cornea and the lens, and that is where the aqueous humor is. And there's too much of it, so it causes too much pressure. Now, if you've been to the eye doctor, this is the test where they put a puff of air into your eye, and that is to check the pressure. They're checking for glaucoma. Nearsightedness, if you are nearsighted, that means you can only see things up close, you cannot see them far away, and you have glasses or contacts. It means that your eyeball is too long. And so you see this focal point here where all the light rays meet. They meet here instead of on the retina where they should because the eyeball is too long. If you are farsighted, that means you need reading glasses so you can see things far away but not up close. It means your eyeball is too short or the lens is hardening. And so that focal point is back here instead of up here on the retina where it should be. And so if you need reading glasses when you're young, it's because your eyeball is too short. As you get older, you may need reading glasses because the lens is hardening. Or if you are also nearsighted, you may need them a pair of bifocals so that you have both sets of lenses in your glasses. There's also night blindness. This is a lack of rod pigment. So this is what people normally see with just a little bit of light at night. They can see cars and things. This is what night blindness would look like. Okay. And sometimes this is due to a lack of nutrients in the diet. And then finally, cataracts. And you probably know somebody who has had cataracts and then had eye surgery to have them removed and have the lens removed. A cataract is a clouded lens. It happens with age, and UV light actually um, uh, increases this cloudiness. That's why it's important to wear sunglasses outside. And as people age, they get this cloudiness, and there is surgery now. They remove the lens usually of your eye and replace it and correct those problems so that people can see again. So, our objectives were to identify the anatomical structures of the eye, summarize the functions of the structures involved in vision, and explain the difference between rods and cones. Don't forget your 5 questions in the margin and keep watching to answer the questions at the end. And like I said at the beginning, this is the last video, so be preparing for your test.